Hey everyone, welcome to another video. And today, of course, you can see the title of the video. It's my 7 fragrances for the upcoming winter of 2024. So, without further ado, we'll get into it. But I will say that this is what I've currently got in my collection. There's some things I haven't got, so they might be missing some of your favourites. And of course, it all goes down to my taste as well. So, with that, we'll get on. Now, there's no particular order. I'm just going to randomly pick one from my 7 and give you a quick rundown on it. So, first off, we'll go on with what's in the thumbnail, because you obviously know that that's going to be in the video. And Hugo Boss, or number 1, as it's now called. This one, it's one of the best, if not the best, Hugo Boss ever made, in my opinion. Now, I like Boss Bottled and a few of their flankers and a couple of their Hugo Man line. They're good, but nothing as good as this. Now, this is one of the older formulations, not the oldest, because the oldest doesn't have number 1 on. This is the sort of in between, because they've recently put them in new bottles. And apparently, Chris from Setland has said that he's got a recently got a new style bottle, and there's no difference. So it might just be a bottle change, which is good, because this stuff is amazing. It's not as pissy and alumalic as the original stuff. They toned that down, but still kept it smelling like Hugo Boss. And I think this, personally, I have smelt the older stuff. I think this one, if you can get the stripes with the number 1 on right there, is the best one, in my opinion. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It might be old school, but it doesn't really smell it. It just smells like a bottle, like a Boss. It's quite sophisticated. It's quite complex and masculine, but not sort of dated old man smelling, like some fragrances can come across. This one's almost timeless for a more mature man, if you will. Beautiful stuff, definitely worth picking up if you've never tried it. Alright, so what should we go with? Ted Lapidus. Well, this is Lapidus Pour Homme, not Ted Lapidus Pour Homme. Lapidus Pour Homme, what can we say? It's got everything in there under the kitchen sink. It's one of those that's quite recent juice, like this one. It's still potent, not as potent as it used to be, but it's, I mean, if the original was a 10 out of 10 in potency, this is like a 9, so, you know, it's still very strong, and I love the bottle. I mean, it's 80s, sort of 70s, 80s, all the way through, isn't it? You know, it's like a tower block. That you might have seen around that time in sort of America or something. Very potent. Does have a more of an old school sort of smell compared to Hugo Boss, but fantastic if you want something that lasts all day on like 3 sprays. Ted Lapidus is your man. Alright, what should we go with? Some classy Antaeus Pour Homme by Chanel. Again, recent juice. I would say it isn't quite as strong as it used to be. Maybe more fitting for autumn, but I've put it in here in case you're sort of more in an office setting or you work indoors somehow. And this one, and I'm saying it isn't potent, because it's quite potent, but it's nothing like it used to be. It's not like these guys behind. It's more toned down, a bit more sort of an elegance to it. But definitely old school, you know. It's got the oak moss and greens and slightly powdery and all that kind of stuff. Very nice. Not what it was, but still pretty good. And a definitely solid choice for winter, especially if you go to work in an office's shirt and tie sort of thing. Next we got another absolute classic Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit's never been my favourite DNA. I do prefer the older puffer, or the puffer, sorry, the little squashed bottle that's about that big. I've got this currently, but then that couldn't have been in the list because that's a newer fragrance. So I have been wearing it, as you can probably see a little bit. More recent juice, again, isn't quite as potent and not as spicy, but it still smells like Fahrenheit. It's just not as spicy, in my opinion. But still a good choice. It still lasts and projects pretty well, and a good one. From, I think, what was it, late 80s, early 90s? Somewhere around there. I think it was late 80s, wasn't it? I can't quite remember. Right, next. Similar to Hugo Boss. Number one, doesn't smell like it, but it's in the same sort of vein, if you will. Aramis by Aramis. Again, it smells like you're the owner of a big business. It's I reckon not as sort of animalic-y as Hugo Boss. This is a little bit more gentleman refined, in my opinion. This has a bit more sort of like a patchouli backbone, where this is more like your oak moss kind of thing. So this has got more of a bite, but it's still a little more classy, in my opinion. This is like a rugged boss. This is more like a posh boss. God, go and get my words out. So yeah, I mean, this is still dirt cheap compared to most fragrances, and to be fair, as you can see, I do wear it. Gotta be in the situation to wear this, or in the mood. But I do love it. It is one that, you know, it's a good cheapie if you want to get into classics. So, excuse me. I'll move these about a bit. What should we go with? I'll leave my sort of nostalgia one till last. Joop or Homme. The Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum is okay, but to be honest, it doesn't come across as strong as this. This is quite strong. This is an Oriental. It's basically citruses on top, and then combines spices with vanilla, and makes a lovely Oriental. So one of those that you've really got to pick up and try, because it's a pure classic. I mean, to me it's one of the best when it comes to Oriental style fragrances. It really is. Absolutely love this one. Let's start. Not getting hard to find, but it's getting that way. So I'm going to assume, for some reason, that's starting to get discontinued for some reason. Because it's a little harder to get. Not hard, but it's not as everywhere as it normally is. Alright, last for the list. It couldn't be a list of old school fragrances without this in it. It's very sweet, but it's a nostalgia kick for me, because it is the first fragrance that ever really made me notice fragrance, and this is Joop Homme. Couldn't be a list without it, could it? Very, very sort of sickly, sweet, orange blossom with a sort of woody, spicy edge to it, but very sort of youthful, sweet, playful, and at its time quite sexy. You couldn't go into a nightclub without smelling this. So I was told. I wasn't old enough when this came out. I think I was 10 when this came out, and I think I had a bottle at about 11 years or 12 years old, because I kept banging on about it, because I could smell it at someone at school. They'd had a little bottle for Christmas or something, or birthday, and I kept on about it. So I think at that Christmas, which would have been 3 or 4 months after, I think I had a little bottle myself. So this is like what kicked it off for me. So it's not for everyone. I don't wear it that much myself, but when I'm in the mood for a bit of nostalgia, I want to get some memories. I sort of sprayed 2 or 3 sprays of that one, and I have a nostalgia day, shall we say. But it's still quite potent. It doesn't smell as good as it used to, well, nowhere near, and it's nowhere near as potent as it used to be, even though it's still very potent today. You used to spray 2 sprays of this on, you'd fill a room, and it'd be on your skin until you had a shower. It could be days. This one lasts about a good 12 hours before it starts to really completely go off the skin. So it's not as potent or as good as smelling, but it's still pretty nice in my opinion. So that's it. That's my 7 fragrances for this upcoming winter. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't already. That would help me out a lot, and hopefully I'll see you again soon on another video.